Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's made it to this video. Now, this video is for the Kaggle Capstone project, which was divided under a lot of tractions, which is enterprise agents or daily helpful agents, etc. etc. I'm doing an enterprise agent, and why is this necessary? Why have I done a contract guard AI? Why is it called contract guard? It's because legal people in legal they spend hours and hours going through documents which, though essential, can be automated using AI, which would help companies go through more and more documents and create better analysis and get more customers, so that we save a lot of time in the initial process of trying to get a customer. Now, what is the use of agentic AI? We could have had NLP, right? But NLP does not do reasoning. NLP doesn't give you executive summaries. NLP doesn't do that. Because that's not the case, we use agentic AI. In this case, I have one orchestrator, and the orchestrator is that particular agent or module that is going to learn your intent and then migrate or delegate the tasks to the individual sub agents, which would then eventually call the tools in order to finish this task. Which helps in reasoning and lots of other things. So I have Postgres for maintaining your metadata. So when there is going to be when the user comes in, there is a login system, there is authentication, then the user would be able to go to Postgres. There are basic user tables. Currently it's empty because we do not have authentication in place, but we'll have a hashed password for every user, their full name, their role, etc. etc. What was the last login, what are the preferences. We also have a sessions backup here, but right now session is being managed in Redis for persistence, so that we can also do caching in the upcoming versions. And then documents is also for the documents that will be uploaded. This is where we have the VV8 collection and the Minio path, because right now we are using Minio for the document storage, Redis for session, VV8 for all of the data ingestion, contract ingestion, and all of that. VV8 is where we are doing the RAG, the retrieval augmented generation. We are saving it in chunks. So the chunk count, the page count, etc., any error if there is, metadata, so on and so forth. Alembic version, so this helps us keep a track of how we ingest or how we upgrade head onto the Alembic, like all of the new migrations. It just helps keep a track. Now, this is a future implementation once we have users. Currently, the demo, the live that I'm going to show you, doesn't have fresh users, so we are not using the Postgres tables right now, but we are definitely using Redis for sessions, using Minio for the storage, and VV8 for the retrieval. Right, now I'm going to show you how this whole thing works. Whatever needs to be done has been very properly documented in the readme, the quick start guide, and the architecture. You also have for the front end a separate readme, and I've tried to protect the prompt from prompt injection by loading it during runtime instead of the Python inline. So all of these prompts are there under a templates folder in src agents, and then we are loading it at runtime. So I've tried my best to get A2A in place, MCP in place. A2A is agent to agent. Have the long-term memory using mem0, observability using open telemetry. You can get the open telemetry matrix either by the endpoint or by writing make telemetry UI. Since I have a make file and I have tried to put all of it together in all make commands, be it Docker, be it Redis, be it telemetry, all of those things. I also have a front end, a basic front end, in order to be able to show how to drag and drop, upload, and how it would probably look in the UI. In the deployments, we have Docker and everything right now, but I haven't done cloud deployment yet. So that's why this is not live, and you'll have to run it in the local host. I'll try and finish the cloud deployment as soon as I can. Alembic, like I said, it's a database migration thing, and the scripts is actually if in case you have an MD file and you want to convert it to a PDF file in order to ingest something. Let's say you developed an MD file with the help of an AI, which is a very conducive and extensive contract document. Then you can use the make upload sample command and actually get your MD file converted to your PDF, and then that will be stored in your contracts, and you can start using this, upload it using the UI, or do it through a curl command in the terminal by the API. It's up to you. The front end, there are some test coverage. You can run make test in order to see all of the files, they what is the test coverage, increase the test coverage, make changes to your code, so on and so forth. And there is also evaluation, so you can run the make test suite in order to get your latency like P95, P99, and how much time does LLM take to answer. All of those metrics, evaluation metrics, are there. You can make changes to whatever evaluation matrix you want to put in and everything. So that is about the project. Now we'll just dive right into what is there. So I already have the Docker up, which has Minio, Postgres, Redis, Viviet, and Jaeger, which is the open telemetry. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it down using the make command. Let's say got all of these down. So this is where you'll eventually start, right? So after you have set up your virtual environment and you have gotten all of the requirements which is there in this file, after you install all of these requirements, you can start with the Docker. You can just directly set up your architecture first, then do the UI, or just run make Docker all, and it gets both of it there, it gets both of it running. So you can now do make Docker up. So this is to just get the Docker up because I did a Docker down. Then you can run a Docker PS to check if all of the Dockers that's been started, if they are healthy or they aren't, right? So now that we see everything's healthy, we're good to go. Now we can run make dev. Make dev is what also runs your UI, right? Okay, so this is already in use. So in that case, we'll just kill the terminal, the endpoint. We'll just kill this, and then we'll run make dev again. So either you can start using curl commands, postman, whatever you want, or directly go to the UI and start using this. Alright, so everything's been initialized, everything's healthy. Now we'll go to our UI. Right, so what you can do is you can upload a sample document. Let's say in this case we do sample nda.pdf. Then you do upload in this while what happens is this is stored into Minio, and then once you notice that okay it's completed, you can open, this is the document ID, etc, etc. Now let's say I want to analyze risk for this particular PDF, so I'll say what are the key risks in this contract. Now if you notice, I have given a workflow here in the quick start guide. So once you have done the setup, just to know that everything works, you can try this workflow that I've given, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Let's say you have some sort of PDF, you do a drag and drop, you click on the analyze risks in the quick actions, which is what I did, and then ask a follow-up, how can we mitigate the liability risk, and then ask generate an executive summary, which is what makes it look like, okay, everything in this system works, right? Now when this happens, there is a chunking that happens. You upload the document. After you upload, the document goes to min.io, then there is chunking, and then there is deviate retrieval, and all of that happens through semantic search, right? And you can get all of these documents, endpoints in this Swagger documentation. You can access all of this. It has the WebSocket, task, evaluation, E2A, MCP, default, everything, right? And similarly, let's say if you want to get the VVet, if everything is there in VVet or not. So you can go to the VVet endpoint and access the schema. There you'll find, okay, there is contracts has been, so after we did the upload, after we uploaded the document, all the chunking happens, the ingestion happens, then the VVet is populated. This could be Pinecone, this could be any vector database, and you can see, okay, how much time it took, what's the embedding, or you use an embedding for better semantic search. So you can see, you can always have a new class and more documents for better knowledge base, and have it work, right? So now it takes a little bit of time because it goes through the document, and then it says what are the key risks in this contract. So it gives you this whole, what are the risks, what are the risk postures, what are the medium risks, basically everything that is there in the document. Now let's say we want to say how can we mitigate this liability risk, right? How can we mitigate this liability risk? So it should come up with the reason for how can we mitigate the risk, and it says, okay, so this is how you can mitigate the liability risks, and these are the clauses. And what's the liability cap? It says liability cap is 500,000, etc., etc. Now let's say generate an executive summary. So it should be able to do that. Now your general NLP model wouldn't really do that, but because we have multi-agent system and every tool or agent or sub-agent deals with their particular tasks, it becomes really efficient, and this becomes like a much smoother software process. And like right now you see these sessions only, right? So once we have the user authentication, you can populate it to your Postgres, you can have your RBAC setup, you can have your security setup, you can have role setup, and all of that. So this can be converted to a production grade system. It's really nice. However ADK works. And here is an executive summary of the confidentiality agreement, and executive summary to this from subject. It's pretty cool, right? Because we are using Gemini in this case, 2.5. But yeah, so that would be the Kaggle Agents intensive Capstone project from me. We can check the health, the API docs, everything. Oh, there's another thing I think I forgot to mention, which is you can also check the other things like make telemetry UI. Opening Jaeger. Is Jaeger not... Okay, so Jaeger has not been up, right? So maybe because I did not put it in the make file. So we can just do make telemetry up. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, then we can check make telemetry UI. Now, of course, it won't be tracked because I did up it now. So in production, you can just up it, check your UI here. Similarly, you can check for Redis, for Minio, all of the endpoints. You can either access their UIs or their endpoints, and you can check what's getting uploaded, what's happening in the background, so on and so forth. Uh, so that's about it. That's what I've done. For any questions, you can drop it in the comment section or raise a comment in the repo. I will add the repo link to the description. Hope this helps. Thank you.